on in a few minutes.
All right, all right. We thank you very much. That we really appreciate that. All right, so I'll be starting off with Madam Adeola. Right. First of all, how has it been these past? I know your cohort was the cohort started in March, right? So that's April, May, June. It's been like 3 months with Amdor. So how are you, Ma? How how are you in general? And how are you regarding your your experience with your tech experience and your tech journey with Amdor? Can you hear me, Ma? Madam Adiola?
Oh, okay. The network went off for some time, so I didn't hear that you were directing it to me.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah. The journey so far has been great because by the time I entered into this journey in March, I was a total novice to data analytics. Though I've been working on data in my previous place of work, I've been managing public health data and things like that relates with data in my former place of work, but it has not been this extensive. So the past 3 months has impacted me with a great knowledge in data analytics, and I've been enjoying it. Yes, I can say
wow,
that
wow.
confidently that I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the experience.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. That's really amazing to hear. Thank you so much, Madam Adiola. So also, I'd like to ask, how did you hear about Amdoranalytics? How did you hear about us? Was it social media? Was it a friend told you? Was it on LinkedIn? Was it on Twitter? Was it on Instagram? Just let us know.
Yeah, it was through social media, and to be precise, through Ada King's YouTube channel. Yes, that's where I learned about it, and I learned that the Amdor are bringing down their price. So I quickly clicked into that opportunity. Yeah, yeah,
I like that. You just jumped into the awoof. I like that. And don't carry
exactly.
thoughts and stuff like that. All right.
Yeah.
So I'll be asking Kosi some questions, but before then I'll like to ask you one more question. What was that thing, Madam Adiola? What was that thing that motivated you to say, see this Amdo, I will enroll? I mean, did you I'm sure maybe you didn't really like have anybody that was in Amdo before, but then like you said, you saw us on social media, you know, through Adat King's post and all of that. So what was that point that made you say, okay, I'm going to enroll?
The as I said initially, the cuts in the price, drew me into, because I know how much I would have paid for that course if not for the crackdown in price. Then my love for data also prompted me that I love and I wish to know more about data analytics, and this is an opportunity. So I grabbed it. Yeah.
Wow, that's really amazing to hear. I actually like how passionate you are. You're one of like the most passionate students we had in March. You were so consistent with your learning. You were so consistent with posting on LinkedIn every day. I used to see you on LinkedIn every time on LinkedIn.
You.
You really, when you said you love data, I think I can attest to that because you were really, really immersed in your program and you were so intentional about that. So I know that that is true. Well
Thank
done,
you.
ma. Well done. So we'll come back to you. Let's just ask Kosi some questions. Hi, Kosi. How are you doing?
Hi, Natasha. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon. Been a while. Been a while. I've missed you people, all of you, your set and your wahala. Bessie, please come and do this. Bessie, want to do this. Hey, people are now like graduates, right?
It's
People are now
tracking.
graduates. Well done. Well done. So
Yeah.
how have you been, Kosi?
Thank,
How has your tech journey been? If you were to compare where you are at now and where you were, when you registered for the program, what would you say changed? Right? We just want to like just give us a summary of that change in your tech journey.
Okay, so I hope you can hear me clearly, please. Confirm. All right. So my tech journey has been a roller coaster of experience, right? So it's been good. It's been it's been awesome, and I would say comparing from when I joined to, I mean, before I joined and after the joining, I would say is a perfect transition, right? It's a perfect transition in the sense that um, prior to this moment, I thought I knew Excel. I must be very honest with you. I thought I knew Excel. I never knew that there is another dimension. It's just like the Holy Spirit. There is always a new dimension of the Holy Spirit. So, and the Bible says it's new every morning. So I didn't know that I would actually find Excel very interesting. I mean, Power BI. I didn't know much about. In fact, I didn't know about SQL before, right? So I'm just calling the tools that we use. So personally, I'm a transport officer, right? So I manage transport and logistics, fleet management. So you would definitely understand by default that this is something that has to do with analytics, right? Data is always there, right? So and I had to just find a way to fit into this program, and I've got no regret about it because prior to now, I've been having difficulties in analyzing my data because in fleet, we have fuel data, fuel consumption, we have repairs, we have tolls, we also have driver, data in terms of management. So all of these are data that you can generate in just one day, right? And if you manage it throughout the month, you see that you have lots of data to analyze when it comes to fleet management. And I have been having some kind of issue getting it done effectively and efficiently. But having enrolled in this course, I realized that there is a way you can actually manage data and you will get the desired results. Because if there's no data, you will not be able to know where you're missing it in business. Because the main reason why you're in business is to make profits. And if you don't have data to know where the business is making profit, you may probably get it all twisted. You think you're making profit, whereas how more you are losing, right? So, and transport is more like a sales support. So the sales is there. When the sales generate money, you will have to be able to curtail the expenditure, like the expenditure in terms of transport. And that is why you, as a manager, you should be able to understand numbers. In fact, coming into Amdor has made me appreciate Pythagoras theory. You understand? Uh, I'm going to be very honest with you. Pythagoras is the person who propounded that numbers happen to be the basic stuff of the universe, right? And even Bill Gates even had it expanded when he said that the fundamental precept of every business is know your numbers. So knowing your numbers is very important. So right now, even in the Q1 of 2026, I was able to analyze. Prior to now, my orga would be the one to do it and send down to me. My own data, I mean, is an aberration now. It doesn't make sense because I didn't have much knowledge of Excel and even Power BI to even have my data visualized. But Q1 of 2026, because I did analytics, I was able to analyze my data for the first time. In fact, now I can tell you for free that my Oga is sending his own to me for me to analyze because of the way. So it's to tell you that a lot have changed. A lot have changed. The potential is there, but you see, you will not be able to get this potential out if there is nobody to hold you by the hands. I mean, by Amdo Analytics to walk you through this data. So definitely, I am very much perfect. I mean, there's a lot of improvement. Let me say 70% improvement, right, compared to how I was. I'm proud to now. If somebody tells me many, some, or some of this, see, data is not some, data is not many, data is number. Give me a percentage, give me 10%, give me 20%. So, because if you don't understand numbers, not that you know how to calculate mathematics, so I mean, in terms of those things are just the fundamental. If you don't have a love appreciation of what data, right? Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but your video has gone
Okay.
off, but I can hear you.
Oh, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. But okay, I think it's on again. So if you don't really understand this, right? Let me just round up by saying that I mean currently 70%, on the radar compared to where I was when before I joined Amdor Analytics, and it's a good thing.
Wow. Incredible, incredible testimony. Wow. I'll call it testimony because that sounds like the one that they used to say, praise the Lord in the church. Because come to think of it, you went from not being able to analyze your data as a staff to even analyzing your boss data. It's a big testimony. We're supposed to give offering. Supposed to send tithes to Amdor and offering because this is job retention. I mean, there are a lot of people lose their jobs because of little things like this, right? But then you're able to not just retain your job, but then also show expertise to an extent, right? To the Do you know what it means for a boss to trust you? It shows that learning with Amdor has actually made increase your boss's trust in you. It has also made you more efficient at work. It has made you, more proficient, more competent. They cannot
No,
trust you with company's data. Incredible, incredible. I'm so great. I'm so happy for you. Yes, I'm so
thank you.
happy for you because this is great improvement. And I also like how you said if someone is doing a business, you need to understand data, you need to understand your numbers. Your numbers tell the story of where your profit is going, of where your expenditure, the place where you have the most expenditure, right? And then if you're having losses, you need data. And considering the fact that you're in logistics, right? A lot of compartments to it, like you mentioned, will this, that. So knowing data analytics will actually elevate the quality of your work. I love that, and kudos to you. You're one of actually our most serious students. Guys, he won student of the week, he won team lead of the month, top tier students. Like I have students that I can boast of anytime, any day. You see, Kosi, even Madam Diola won student of the week at some point. You see, Kosi always at the forefront. So I'm not even surprised if you call some few months down the line and say, "Oh, I have been promoted," or "Oh, I have gotten a bigger job." Like, I won't be shocked. Well done, well done, well done. So, I'd like to ask you,
Thank,
Kosi, how
thank
did you hear about Amdoranalytics? Is it through YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram? Was it a friend or maybe WhatsApp? So, just tell us, let us know, Kosi.
Okay, so I first heard of Amdor Analytics through I think we have the same kind of experience. I mean, Adeola, right? When she mentioned what's the her name? Um
Other
Ada,
kings.
Yeah.
yes, Ada Kings. So but then,
Other
me
kings.
for me, yes, yes, Ada Kings. So but then for me, right, it's not just about hearing it from somebody. I'm very skeptical about things because I know what I've gone through. I mean, people from online tell you that we offer this, we offer that. In the real sense, almost nothing. So when I finished hearing about that, I also went on YouTube. Then I saw from Clara too. Clara, is it Clara Immigration or whatever on YouTube? I listened to Clara, and again, I also bumped into some of the videos from Amdo Analytics. So the one that caught my attention was that of AI. So I know that this is actually the tech ecosystem, and I've been meaning to actually, leverage this particular ecosystem. So I listened to watch the videos, and I said, oh, for sure, let me give it a try. So that was actually how I got interested and gave it a try. And currently, I don't regret it at all.
Wow, that's amazing. So y'all are offsprings of other queens. That's nice. But I like the fact that you still went back to do your own research, right? You did like DIY to check and make sure. You're behaving like Berean Christians. No wonder you are quoting scriptures for us. Amazing. So you know the Berean Christians, right? When Paul will teach them something, they will say, "No, I don't accept. I'll go and check the scrolls by myself to be sure." Right? So Berean Christian of Amdor. Great, amazing. All right. So I also like to ask you, how confident do you feel right now about applying these skills? Though you've already touched on this a bit, but I just wanted to highlight some other parts, right? How confident do you feel about applying the skills you've learned here at Amdor to real world projects or to like your work? I know you've talked about how you apply it to your work, but how do you apply it to your projects, your capstone project, the mini project you did, and maybe other side things you do? How confident do you feel, about applying those things?
All right. Just like you said, I've also touched on this, but I feel very confident, right? Confidence is also would I say, an attribute that is required of a data analyst. right? Is because most times you may know how to do something, but the confidence in your tone, I mean, it could be very, very low, and the person would just be, discouraged in giving you the job, right? Confidence speaks a lot. There are many people who have lost job offers just because they didn't sound confident, right? So now, first of all, when it comes to data, right, I am confident enough that I can look at my projects, look at the data, even though I do not have any dealings with that particular field before. For example, I've analyzed health related projects, but I'm not in the health sector, right? I'm in the transport sector. I've also managed sales. I've also been able to manage even the one that has to do with HR attrition. We've been able to look at it critically. So the very first thing, like we were taught, which is also very important, is the domain knowledge. Once you understand that this is what these people are trying to, because we are not daft. Sorry, let me use that word. We are educated. And one thing about education is that it is a transfer of knowledge, right? So one thing I learned in a particular field, I can easily adapt in another field. For example, I read mass communication, right? So we are told that communication is where, when the intended feedback is when you communicate and you have the intended feedback. So between you and the receiver, there is a level of shared experience. So what you intend to speak, the person understands, and the person now still, give you back the feedback. So now that is the fundamental of communication. But in physics, it's a different ball game, but it is still communication. For example, battery, right? So and then when battery is being placed together, two batteries are being placed together, and then there's a bulb. Now, if you put it where you see that the feedback we are trying to get is so that the light will actually shine, right? Now, if you don't get it correctly, the feedback you are looking for will not be there, right? So that confidence that it is still communication will definitely make you be bold and confident in any field you find yourself, right? So I have been, in fact, last week I traveled to Calabar and I was going for I went for a job interview actually, right? Um, normally you don't stay one place now, so growth growth is very important. And when you add a feather to your feathers, you are confident that you can fly. So I actually went for an interview, and I was discussing with the MD as though I know everything happening in that area, right? So at a point, they made me an offer, but I had to reject based on personal matters, personal concerns. So, but we discussed to the point that, in fact, I told them that the very first thing I'm going to do is to look at the past 3 months data, because there's no how I'm going to understand what's happening in that company if I don't look at your data. And 3 months is enough to tell me that this is where the issue is coming from, right? So, for example, you look at 3 months and you see that employees have actually left this company for the past 3 months. The attrition is very high. Then something is wrong. You look at what they have in terms of training. Are they being given enough training, or emphasis being placed only on make sure you bring back the money because you're not spending alone? Come on, employees will get tired and leave. So some HR people don't look at these things, right? So, but with the confidence that comes from having gone through the field of data analytics, even precisely from Amdor Analytics, I am very certain that gas won't be anywhere I find myself, right? That confidence will just come out naturally, even without being prepared. It will just the flow. So, and again, um, when you look around, right, you will see that there are businesses there are opportunities out there, but some of us do not have enough data to actually make informed business decisions. For example, you want to look at starting a POS business, right? Now we don't have a data of how many POS businesses that are around your vicinity. You understand? So, but you can make an informed guess, right? Guess can be intelligent, right? I think is what is it called? Hypothesis, right? Intelligent guess. So you can make an informed guess and say, okay, fine, let me just give it. Now, if you on your own embark on that particular survey, you will see that it is possible Even though you are looking at it from the point that we have people, POS people here, they are too much, it's possible that by the time you look at it, compared to the population of people in that vicinity, that we even need more people to do POS. Why? Because you are not making decision out of emotion or sentiment. You are making decision based on the facts on ground, because data is very important. So with that confidence that Omo is not about what you think, it's about what I am looking at. You will go extra mile to look at the numbers, and then with that number, you can make better decision that's going to impact positively on your business. I think I will stop here. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Kosi. Wow, that was really in depth. That was really in depth. I like how you really explored a lot of areas, drew insights and inferences from different touch points. It made a whole lot of sense. I particularly liked how you spoke about feedback, communication, how what you were taught in the field of communication is actually something you can bring into, another field. Talking about transferable skills. And I like the example you cited about feedback. Funny enough, feedback is actually an engineering term, but many people do not know it. It's originally for engineers, right? Feedback is used in mechanics and some core engineering thing before it became a generally accepted word in other fields, right? So I like when you drew that, when you pointed that out, I'm like, yeah, exactly. So and I also like where you talked about not doing guesswork, because there are so many people doing this thing and then it's not going to sell. That's not true. That's not true. You can go to, there's something. So I live around somewhere on the mainland anyway. And there's so many supermarkets there. As at 3-4 years ago, there were just like one or two supermarkets. And when new supermarkets started opening up, my sister and I were having a conversation and we're like, how they want to sell? Like, is it only supermarket business that people are going to open in this place? Like, everywhere you go, if it's not Boku, you are seeing Primark, you are seeing this, you are seeing that. But 3 years down the line, all of them are selling. All of them. In fact, I went to one superstore 2 days ago and it was packed. Went to the next one to get something, it was packed. So just like that, your example, many laymen, like people that do not have this information about data and all of that, they might just look at things from surface level and be like, it's not going to fly. But those that have the numbers, I'm sure that before people start businesses, they, ask from people that have the knowledge of data analysis, like you now, right, to make informed decisions about those things. And you see that they are thriving because they're not just doing guesswork, like you said, they are working based on the numbers. I like that. I like the way you highlighted everything. Well done. Well done. So we'll come back to you. Let's move to Madam Adiola. So I'd like to ask Madam Adiola, if you were to rate your overall learning experience with Amdoranalytics on a scale of 1 to 10, what will you give us? You're muted, ma.
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, but yeah, I will give Amdor 9.5 because I know this is not mathematics. If it were to be mathematics, maybe I would have given you 10 over 10. But now I will give you 9.5. Yes, because
All right.
the reason why I said that, yeah, is because of the passion that my facilitator, used to, discharge her lectures. She's so superb. She puts everything in her into the teaching. She will always make sure that you get what she's saying. I'm sure she's a born teacher anyway. She
Wow.
really she does justice to the teaching. And another thing that really baffles me is the kind of support. Anytime you test her to ask for something, she will make sure she creates time out of no time for you. She did one for me yesterday. In fact, I was surprised. Immediately I text her, she just answered. She said I should share my screen. That support is great. And then the community that we are in, anytime I put a question there, because I'm a bit elderly. I'll be 59 this year, and a retired person. I told you that before I was a total novice. So by the time I put a question, on the community page, people will just answer. Even she herself, Madam Chinyere, will answer. So it really gives me a real support that makes this course to be so interesting to me. Honestly, it's great.
Wow. Oh,
Thanks
wow.
so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. That was really brilliant and so heartwarming to hear. The feedback is wow. Thank you so much. And to everyone that is here, that is yet to join, us at Amdor, maybe you're thinking, oh, is this for me? Are you sure? You can hear from people, real stories, real testimonies, unfiltered, unedited. You can hear from them directly, right? The support is amazing. I can tell you for free. The community, superb.
Yes.
Facilitators teach so well, and not just data analytics. Every other program, from project management, business analysis, data engineering. In fact, we have a new program with added AI automation. We have top-notch tutors that will be teaching you. We go for high-end professionals. We don't do okrika people here, right? We go for high-end people, right, to teach you on-demand skills, and we teach you well. We deliver nothing but value. So for everyone that is here, maybe you're still contemplating, you're in the valley of indecision, you're thinking, should I not? Trust me, to be worth every penny you spend. In fact, you get more than that money you spend, to be honest. In fact, let me ask Kosi. Kosi, you rate us on a scale of 1 to 10. So let it not just be Madam Adeola. Just rate us from your heart, you know.
Okay. I'm pushed to toe the line of Madame Adela, right? So I mean, it would have been 10. However, there are clauses and phrases when it comes to English. So it's not mathematics. Sorry, yeah, it's not mathematics. So it's English. But again, I will just go a step further to rate 9.7, right? 9.7 is what I'm going to rate you guys, because you guys are just too good. And like I said, my expectation was exceeded. Right? I don't know if there is any other person that is going to get this number. I mean, in terms of other ed, what is it called? Is it EdTech? Yeah, EdTech academy that is going to get this kind of number, because sincerely speaking, this is from the depth of my heart, right? In fact, let me even take it a bit step forward. I'm going to rate you guys 10. I'm sorry, this from me, right? I'm going to rate 10 because I've gotten value. When I mean value, I mean real value for what I've actually paid for. I've got no regrets. Like I said, I'm skeptical. I'm the kind of person that always I question everything I come across, right? Because we don't see things, right? So, and but then the practical nature of the business of the day is what I like so much. Practicality is what sells for me, right? So, and being able to go back to the video, play it, even though I may not be able to join the live classes, right? Being able, because of course I have other pressing concerns to balance in as much as I paid for a course. So most times I may not be available. However, whenever I'm convenient, whenever it's convenient for me, I can go back to the video, play it, still get the same result and apply. In fact, for me, even going back again is a reflex, right? So I think is something I like so much. And again, I like the fact that um see, it's one thing to like the course. It is yet another thing not to be able to deny the fact that the course is valuable. Even though the course may be valuable, you may possibly say, I don't like it. That one is your own personal whatever, right? But the fact is that the course is valuable. And then the people that are taking the course in terms of the facilitators, right, are now making it more interesting because of their passion for what they do. So Madam Chinyere is good. Even you, Natasha, I don't know if you're taking a course, but even this alone is something else, right? The way you even rally around us and make sure that we get the right things done is something that is worth giving kudos to. Then lastly, the fact that we are asked to work on practical projects and then present. For me, that's the best part. Do you know why? Because the fundamental, for me, the fundamental of what is it called? Analytics is critical thinking, right? And there is no how you get better at thinking critically if you don't engage other critical thinkers. In fact, you may not even know how much you can think. I mean, when you are being asked to talk about something, until you have people who are also in that same space with you, and you get to interact with people from different spheres of life who think differently. I mean, in this particular conversation now, there are people from a different sphere of life. There are people in the military, there are people who are teachers, there are people who are doctors, and you see that they understand life from the perspective of where they're coming from. So, but when you put it together, me coming from transport, I'd be like, wow, is this like real? This is how this person thinks. So that's dynamism involved in interaction is what personally I like. And before you know it, you get better at critical thinking, get better at questioning data. That these five whys, these five W's, right? The five words that come from Toyota, the owner of Toyota, right? Where you say you have to ask why 5 times so that you can get to the deep the root of the problem. And when you guys come together and start asking why, how can we get this thing better? Why is this data showing that women are more, I mean, educated in terms of a particular, let's say, of society? Why is it that people are leaving the company? Why is it that people a certain age of, I mean, a certain age group, they tend to be less unemployed? Why is it that, I mean, when it comes to value, that value comes from this particular category? Why is it that doctors are leaving the country? Why is it that, I mean, the government seems to give lesser percentage in budgeting to education? Like all these questions are coming up. Before you know it, together you are engaging your mind and you arrive at an answer. So I find it very important, and that is why I say, oh, Omo, I'm going to rate you guys 10 over 10 because it's not easy. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much. Such a fantastic review. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for adding the extra zero point 0.3 to make it 10. Yes. People are saying it's not mass, it's English. Who told you people don't score 100 over 100 in English? Who told you people don't get A in English? I don't believe that thing. I know most people will say English is harder than maths. Me, I don't believe it, shall, because I get A in English. So English is not that hard. Thank you for adding that 0.3. It's very important. Thank you. But thank you very much. So, Madam Adeola, I'd like to ask you, what was the most valuable skill or knowledge that you gained from this program? What was the most valuable skill or knowledge you gained from this program, ma'am?
All right. I told you that when I was, in service, I used to deal with public health data. Now, my knowledge and skill is now better than then because I can now use Microsoft Excel to analyze data, to gain insights from data. I can now use Power BI. I can now use SQL, things that I have not been able to, I did not even, I didn't hear about them even before I entered into this course. It's this course that opened my eyes to all of this. And I'm so much grateful for it. Yes. So, and another feather in Amdoranalytics cap is that even more than the things that we paid for, more than the things that are in our curriculum, we were taught. It's a great thing. You people have great minds. You don't even worry that these people, there was reduction in their fees. You made sure that you taught us all the things and even more than you were supposed to teach us. Thanks so much.
Wow, thank you very much, Ma. Thank you for the accolades. For the accolades. Our head is swelling, don't worry. But thank you for the accolades. I would also like to ask, I know you've touched on this before, Ma, but I would also like to ask, how effective was your instructor in delivering the course content? You've actually answered this anyway. Um, I think you've answered that, Sha. You said, but if you can just speak more on that, or let me reframe it to say, what aspect of the live class stands out for you? Yeah, I think let me put it that way. What aspect of the live classes stand out for you, Ma?
The aspect of, I'm sorry, the network is not stable
Oh,
here.
oh,
Please,
sorry, no problem.
yeah,
I'll repeat. I said, what aspect of the live classes stood out for you?
okay,
Yeah.
yeah. The end-to-end recordings, I love it so much because there is no distraction, no, asking of questions. I used to enjoy it, the end-to-end videos. And then the fact that you can go back to those videos, even the recordings, the class recordings, you can go back and watch them wherever you have challenges, you will see it. It's a great thing. It's a great thing. You can check the videos, you can at your own pace, at your own time, and you will get whatever you need to get. It's a great thing. I like it. Yeah.
Wow, wow, thank you so much. I mean, this feedback means a whole lot to us. Now we can now know what to major on, right? We can now know what to prioritize. Thank you very much. Um, Thank you. Thank you. So for any other person, like the people that are here that are wondering, okay, contemplating, should I pay? Or I want to take this course, but I don't have time. I'm a very busy person. I might not be able to attend live classes. You just heard from Madam Adeola that he was in our last cohort. All classes are recorded. All classes are recorded. So even if you're not,
Mm.
available during live classes, you can always go back. And all recordings are uploaded on the Google Classroom. Once you enroll
Yes.
for our course, you you you'll be part of the Google Classroom, right? We'll send you the link and you'll be added to the Google Classroom. So the recordings of all the classes, the sessions, the mentorship sessions, the LinkedIn live sessions, everything, you have access to it, right? And you can always go back to watch them. So time is not an issue. Availability is not a problem. Like what someone said in the comment section, age is not also a barrier. I mean, Madam Adeola is here. Trust me, guys, she is very intentional with her learning. I'm not joking. She comes to class. Whenever she doesn't come, she watch the recording. She does her assignment. She does her task. She posts on LinkedIn. Every single thing that they're being asked to do, she does them. And you heard from her, she will soon be 60. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm not young, my assimilation rates might not be that high, like the young people like me and all of that, it's not a problem. I believe that anything can be learned. Trust me. If anything can be taught, then anything can be learned. You just have to be intentional and you just have to be ready to put in the work. So it's not a problem, trust me. Currently, there's one of our students too that is aged. He won student of the week for last week. When I mean age, his age, he even has white hair, but he's always the first to submit his assignment. I'm not joking. When I went through the record last week, I was wowed. Even assignment that his other classmates did not touch, he has submitted his own. He does not miss the due date, and this person is well above 40, 50. So trust me, age is not a barrier, right?
Mm.
I'm speaking from someone that has access to these things. I can tell you for sure. We have age students amongst us. And funny enough, they are leading even the younger people. They are the ones leading, like Madam Adeola. They are the ones leading. So don't carry last. Don't say because I'm not a Gen Z. Who said tech is only for Gen Z? It's a lie, yo. It's a lie. You can be a millennial, you can be a boomer, even if you are Gen X, come. You'll be welcome, okay? So I have a question for you, Kosi. I saw you were going on and off. I think it's your network. Sorry about that. So I wanted to ask you what aspect of the program stood out for you? Not the classes now, like in general, between live classes, the capstone projects, which of them stood out for you? Is it the life class? Is it the capstone project? Is it the mentorship sessions that we do on Thursdays? Is it the assignments? Is it the community? Or is it the career support? Which of these, you'd say, yes, this is like the highest for me? I'd like to hear Kosi.
All right. Thank you once again, Natasha. So yes, I'm having issue with network, right? But I think it's a bit stable now. So please, can you hear me very well?
Yes, I can.
Okay, okay. So I think I mentioned this before, right? The one that stood out for me, first of all, is the assignment, which has to do with project working and then coming to present, right? Because for me, it brings about more interaction. Because just like we are here now in live classes, you don't get to interact deeply because there's a time limit to it, right? At least to an extent. But when you have people come who have worked on different projects, and remember, you guys may work on the same project, but have different ways of seeing that project, different data interpretation. So when you must have worked on yours and you think, oh, this is cool, and you don't know that you skip some things, right? And somebody opening that same project, giving it a new life, a new meaning, I mean, for me, it's awesome, right? Seeing people think from a different angle, I like it so much. So, and it's it brings this level of closeness, and you can even reach out to somebody who probably understood the data very well to teach you or to tell you, I beg, how you take reason I'm that way is for me is a big flex, right? I like it so much. That is one. Then secondly, I also like the support given even after the classes in terms of the extra mile of LinkedIn optimization, right? One of the platforms you can use if you are going into this tech ecosystem or if you want to stabilize yourself career-wise is LinkedIn. And I am very particularly thrilled that Amdor Analytics also understand it, and that is why they made it part of. It's not part of what we paid for anyway, but they probably saw that it's very important because come on, we are trying to get work. I mean, job in the tech system, right? And most of these jobs are found on LinkedIn. So, and then they are telling us to optimize our LinkedIn. Some of us don't even have our LinkedIn account, but because of this particular stuff, right? They are forced to do it. Some are even surprised that there's something called LinkedIn, right? Me, I've been there actually. It's just that I've not been very consistent in it. But again, my consistency even opened, more viewership opportunity for me. People, yeah, I mean, I would just open my LinkedIn and see that about 100 people have viewed my profile because of I be like, Shebi, I hope I'm safe. So, and you see that recruiters are looking at you, they are following up on whatever thing you are doing, they are commenting on your post, and it's also a flex because you can easily slip into their DM and talk to them. Okay, this is what I can do. They are seeing your work. Some are even giving you thumbs up. Some are even coming to you on your DM and say, I like what you're doing. Oh, keep up the good work. It's for me, it's a good thing, right? And some of us, I mean, you can even go to the extent of getting work from that because yeah, on LinkedIn, people are professional about what they do. Then again, the Upwork. Upwork is also one place that you can find work, right? Even in this tech ecosystem. So having had the mindset or that particular leverage to take us through through these rigorous processes of getting our work optimized and then going to Upwork to even register and then be part of that community. For me, those are the things that I actually find interesting. Then lastly is the recorded classes. Yes, I would have said the live classes, right? But I'm not always on the live classes. But being able to go back to the recorded classes and then get the same value as someone, in fact, let me even say that by default, I think I even get more value from compared to people who are even in the live classes because then the only thing is that I cannot ask questions, but being able to play it, pause it anytime I want, and play it again, and even save it, download it, and even go over and over again is also a flex, right? And these are the parts that I enjoy so much. Thank you.
Oh wow, that's amazing. That's amazing to hear. I mean, you basically listed everything, like everything we do. everything stood out for you. There's no one like everything stood out for you, and which is really good. It means that we're actually giving quality, because if we weren't giving quality or giving value, you will mention, a number of things. So yeah, thank you very much for that. And one point you made earlier where you talked about people bringing when people are giving one project, but then this person brings their own, this person brings their own. And that's something I have never really thought of before, because most times when working in the edtech space, I've been in the edtech space for a while, but I've never really, because there's one thing that comes to my mind. I'll be like, oh, it's just one project, and everybody do it on their own. That they'll be like, um, there'll be, what's the word? There'll be a common way all of them will do it. Like their submissions will be identical. That's how I see it most time. But when you said that, I'm like, that's true. There's something called individual expression. Everybody has their own expression. So they bring their uniqueness, they bring their authenticity, they bring their genuineness into it. And then that thing that makes Mr. Abiodun, he puts it into his project delivery, and then he changes, it looks different from how Kosiso will do his own. I think that's something to take note of.
Sure.
Yeah, it's praiseworthy. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I've learned something from you today. Thank you. All right, so Madam Adiola, one last question for you. Okay, no, before Madam Adiola, I'll ask Kosi a question. So we've been talking about the good things about Amdor, what stood out and all of that, but I would like to ask you, because we don't believe in cementing the bad sides if there are, right? So I'd like to ask, what challenges did you experience, if you experienced any? Of course, you don't have to invent challenges if you didn't experience any, but like, what challenge did you experience during the program? What are the things you feel we can improve on, right? What are the little hiccups or commas here and there that you like us to change from comma to full stop? Just tell us. Thank you.
Okay, so you know, there is no point changing a winning horse, right? There is no point changing it, because the main reason the horse is there is to win. So if the horse is winning, why do you change it, right? So from my own side, right, I didn't really experience any challenge that was um made possible by Amdor Analytics, right? There are challenges, but I'm being careful the way I'm having it structured. Like, the challenge is not out of it is not it was not made possible by Amdor Analytics, right? It was a personal challenge, right? Which is very simple. It's a challenge of being able to balance my timing with the live classes, right? But again, that challenge was also balanced by having the recordings, right? So by default, there's no challenge that I experienced, right? But again, what I'm going to do is to give Amdor Analytics thumbs up by adding new courses. I think you mentioned AI automation, which is also very good, right? Because the needs of people are actually evolving, and because of tech, many things that were once relevant have been rendered irrelevant in this time and age. Okay, so, and the what is at the center of every discussion or every table currently is AI. AI is everywhere, tech. So adding AI automation is cool to the point that even if I don't know if that is where it runs, but someone like me who is in the transport sector, I mean, I get so much calls that sometimes my ears even get too hot. I get so much WhatsApp messages that I may not even be able to attend to. So, but if, for example, I go a step further to incorporate that automation into my process, that even if I'm not around, that WhatsApp can actually start responding to messages without getting the right things done, right? So it's something that is cool, right? Businesses do it recently, so I think it's a thumbs up, and I hope that by the time I have better, swollen pockets, I would also think about adding that to my certificate. Thank you.
All right. I think that was. Thank you, thank you. AI automation is actually very good for anybody, especially you. The way you said transport business, It will really help you a lot. Automate some processes in your work instead of having to read emails every time, respond every time manually. You can just use create like I've forgotten what they call it. I've forgotten, but you can create, is it a node? Something like that, a process where two, three apps are linked together. You just manually send the email. Once someone sends a message, the automation process will just reply immediately with, a message that you've put down, and then add the person's name to maybe an Excel sheet for you and all of it. Will even help make your data analytics career smoother, to be honest. It's very, very good. So for anyone here that is interested in knowing more about AI automation, you can reach out to any of us. You can reach out to maybe Adetola here, or you can reach out to Chika, and we'll send you the link. We'll explain more to you. If you want to learn more about AI automation, you know, we are free to help you. Are free to help you. Thank you very much, Kosi. So, Madam Adiola, one last question for you. I'd like to ask you, did this program meet your expectations? If yes, how? And if no, what can we do better?
Yeah, this course met my expectation 100%, honestly, because I got what I wanted. I wanted to know what this data analytics really means. I wanted to know. That's why I got into the program. I was curious that this thing that they're learning, that they are calling data analytics, what is it all about? And I really got, my knowledge was widened about it. I want to go in line with what Kosiso Chukwu just said. I'm eyeing this AI automation course. I'm eyeing it terribly. By God's grace, if God permits me, I will still do it with Amdoranalytics by God's grace. And although you did not ask me this question, but I want to chip it in. The question that you asked Kosi Sochuku, that what is that thing that Amdor can do to better what they are doing now? I have two things in mind. One is moving forward. Our facilitator, Madam Chiere, did something wonderful. When she was reviewing our capstone project with us, she taught us how we can do data analytics in this with this modern technique, Gen AI. I'm really interested in it. If you people can, bring it up among your courses, it will be great. It will help us data analytics students. We want to know more. We want to know deeper, about Gen AI, how we can really use it for our career, data analytics. Then another thing, the second thing that I want to chip in is our live classes. It used to be a great time. I don't like missing classes because you will be opportune to ask questions, which our facilitator will, answer, even more than what is expected. But one thing I want my facilitator to note is she should let us finish the lectures before people begin to bring in their questions. It used to kind of disturb the class. It doesn't allow flow of lectures. As much as our facilitator wants everybody, to carry us along, with passion, she just wants to make sure everyone is going along with her. At the same time, some people will just chip in question, even like that, and it used to disturb us that are not Gen Z. I don't know whether you get. I always like the class to flow like that, not to be disturbed. So after the whole lectures now, people can now start to bring their questions, as our facilitator, call them to, say their questions. So I want us to note it, so that even our facilitator, as much as is in her to carry everybody along, when she's into the lecture for about 20-25 minutes, she will ask, is there anybody with questions? I would have preferred us to finish the lectures, and then people can now bring their question. She will, leave some about 20 minutes or 15 minutes for questions after the whole lecture. So, but overall, you people are top-notch teachers, and I give kudos to you. Yes, as much as you can, teach me that I'm a, total novice to all these things, and I can now brag and say I'm a data analyst. You have done a good job, and I give it to you. Thanks so much.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you for that feedback, that honest feedback. Thank you very much. We'll sure work on that, and your feedback is acknowledged. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
As for the Gen AI stuff, we'll look into it. We'll look into adding AI teachings and all of that. But whatever conclusion we make, we'll relate it with our students. So not to worry. But for the AI automation, if you can rush it, the earlier the better. Slots are filling very fast, right? So you can fill, there's a link on the chat box. You can fill your interest form if you want to do AI automation, and then we'll pick it up from there, right? And yes, prices are changing soon. We are going to be reviewing our prices soon. So the earlier, and AI automation is not cheap. So if you go for it now, it's good, right? And then all classes are recorded. So even if you don't have time, you can always go back to the videos. But guess what? You have access to that at a lower price. But if we increase the price, and then if you say, oh, I don't have time, that's why I don't want to register now. When the prices go up, you will not have to pay more to get it. So yeah, let's rush it. As it is hot. It's the hot akara and roasted corn that we have that is this AI automation. As our first lady has told us to, rush hot akara. Please rush it. The hot akara that Amdor is giving, you can't get it anywhere. Trust me. You can't get it anywhere. So thank you, with Kuli, very lucrative business. When you start this AI automation business, you're going to make money. If you don't make money, come and seize my left shoe. I'm serious. But yeah, thank you, everyone. One last word from thank you so much, Madam Adeola. Your answers were spot on, profound, pragmatic. Thank you so much. Just one last question for Kosi before we draw the curtains.
I have a question.
Hi.
How are you? My name is Paul. So,
sorry, Mr. Paul, do you have a question for us?
Yes. Now, I want to give everybody a listen, and I do appreciate everybody for coming out to share their mind. So, it really encourages me a lot. Truly speaking, I'm sorry to say, I'm very sorry to say, I don't mean even to be sorry. We that were here, anything in Nigeria, we don't really. I'm sorry to say, I don't mean that, okay? We don't really believe in it. Okay? So, but when I saw your business, I took my friends here.
Hello, Mr. Paul. Sorry, Mr. Paul. Can you be more audible? We can barely hear you. Your voice is very low.
Can you hear me now? Better? It's better now? It's better?
It's still low. I don't know. Is it just me? Kosi, can you hear him?
I'm struggling to hear him. I can barely hear him. I was about saying the same thing.
Okay, hold on. Can you hear me now? It's better? It's better now.
Just go ahead. Yeah,
Yes,
just go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. So, what I'm trying to say is that we are here, okay? Anything Nigeria is sort of back a little bit. But after listening to you, they have been following your information, have been sending to me back to back. I decided to join this class. I listen to everybody. But I see that everything that was spoken came from everybody's heart. It was truly statement that came from everyone. So I do appreciate you all for coming out for this. It's a big testimony for everybody. So by the grace of God, I'm going to join the class for data analytics. So I just want to tell you that I appreciate everybody for coming out to this testimony about their experience. So we don't believe in Africa, but I be telling people, as I tell people, they should you want to learn anything or AI. This is the appreciation to all of you for coming out. Keep in the heart and the mind. Let us so it is good encouragement and education for everybody. Thank you so much.
I think he's done.
I'm done.
All right, Mr. Paul. Sorry,
All
Paul.
right.
Are you in Nigeria? Sorry to ask.
No, I'm in US.
Okay.
And also, I've been a desktop technician for about 18 years. And it's networking, desktop support, installation, PX systems. But I wanted to move away from what I'm doing to because in Cali. I live in Chicago. I've been away for a long time. So I found so many classes here, but your teaching is very direct, with your testimony. So before I join some classes, I like to take the water before I put my leg in. So that's what they tell you that you get some everything you said stays in your heart, your mind. I'm a bit older, like the other madam, 3 years older than her, you know. But I see that everything you said stays in your mind, you know. So and it's a very good encouragement for me, to join class as well. So thank you
All right,
everybody.
sir.
Thank
You're welcome, sir.
you.
Abasha, did you get what you said?
I didn't. Oh, if you did, please, can you speak to that, Kosi, please?
Okay. So what he's saying, I think Mr. Paul lives in the U.S., right? Chicago, precisely.
Sure.
So, so he's of the view that everything coming from Nigeria, we take it from. I mean, people take it with a pinch of salt, right? Because of
Sure.
Nigeria, right? But having joined this conversation and having heard, I mean, the testimonies and everything that has been said, even the passion put into what we are saying right now, that he's convinced that he's going to take a step further to join the class, right? So
Yes,
that's the sort of what he said.
you got it. Thank
Oh,
you. You got it.
wow. Wow, that's incredible. Thank you so much. I
Okay.
mean, that's why we organize sessions like this from time to time. We understand that people can be skeptical, which is valid. I mean, people have reasons to be skeptical. Like Kosi here that's giving testimony now and shouting praise the Lord was once a doubting Thomas before he became a Saint Paul, you know. So he was also a doubting Thomas. He wasn't among the 12 that agreed to the good news and the gospel of Amdor. But now he's not part of telling people that taste and see that the Lord is good, right? So that's why we organize
Yes.
this kind of session so that people can, hear. That's what when we started, I said real people, real stories, unfiltered, unedited. This what they are saying is not pre-planned. We didn't tell them what to say. They are just sharing their honest feedback. So yes, we are grateful and we are thankful that this session has been able to convince you further, Mr. Paul. Has been able to remove all form of doubts or contemplation that you were having before. So yes, we are thankful and we hope to see you in class. Thank you
But,
very much.
madam, you also mentioned that next week you said this time. Is that possible?
Yes, Chief. What did you say? Sorry.
Can you tell her that she also mentioned next week you said this time? How do I get that one too?
The schedule time.
No, the discount. The discount.
Okay. No. The discount is already applied on the course by default. The discount. So that's why we are seeing it there. So the discounts are already being effective. So as you are paying, when she reach out to you, she's reaching out to you with discounted price, not the bigger price. So don't have fear.
But share my information. Let me give you a number to you. Give it to her. My WhatsApp number.
Okay, no issues. You can share maybe okay, just share on this thing on the chat, then we can take it up from there. Then if you check the chat, right? Hello, if you check the chat, Mr. Paul, there is also an interest form on the chat that you can also click on and get and get the details filled up.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Natasha, please over to you if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you very much, Mr. Paul. Kindly mute your mic, sir. Your environment is noisy. Yeah, thank you. All right, so Mr. Paul has dropped his number. Adetola, please, you can take it up from there. Thank you very much. So thank you to everyone that joined this session. Wow. It's been a swell time with you all. I've learned a lot from Madam Adeola, from Kosi. Thank you for making yourselves available, to come share your raw testimonies with us. We are indeed grateful. Does anyone have any question? Hi, Mr. Lukman. Hi, Mr. Akise. Hi, Shakira. Hi, Oyewole. Does anyone have any question? Please, you can just, raise your hands so that we can, attend to your question now, please. Okay, since Mr. Paul has another question, please go ahead, sir.
I want to ask questions about job. How do you get a job? Do you have a link for the job, or do you have a promotion directly to your resume or CV for job? What's the name for the job?
Sorry, did you say drive?
So, job.
Okay, job.
You got a job here. Sorry.
Okay, he's asking about job. If we have any job placements, right, Mr. Paul? Was that what you meant?
Job placement or job lead or information to get a job, and also
Okay,
have to write a resume as well.
okay. So he's asking of two things, right? The possibility of getting a job placement or job listing, maybe from Amdoranalytics, and again, CV review, right? CV review. Maybe you can,
Yes,
Mr. Paul. I
yes,
got it right, right?
yeah, you got it right. And also about you don't have any certification under the course or the matter certification.
Okay. So, ma'am, he's asking of three things, right? First of all, he wants to know whether there are certifications that someone will get after the course completion. Secondly, he also wants to check if there are job listings, right? Maybe if we can outrightly get a job from having completed the course. And thirdly, he is also particular about curricular what is it called? CV, curriculum vitae, yeah, whether we also do that. Of course we do. Please, you can react to that. Thank you. I'm sorry I'm doing the interpretation. No verse.
Thank you. You've been so helpful. Thank you, because I can't hear anything at all. I couldn't hear
It's
anything.
fine.
So thank you for being our middleman and interpreter today. Thank
It's
you.
fine, ma'am. You're welcome.
Okay. So, Mr. Paul, yes, we do CV review. Yes, we do CV review. In fact, before our teachings are over, like before the program is over, before the end of 2 months, we already have like 2 CV review sessions where your CV will be reviewed. We'll tell you what and what you need to put in your CV that will make your CV attractive to recruiters. What are the things that will make your CV stand out? We teach you things like ATS screening. We teach you things like how to arrange your work experience, how to add your portfolio and all of that. We would review your CV for you. We'll teach you how to fix your CV. But then after the program too, We also look at your CV. We look at your we also be doing a job hunting challenge where we get to um, put everyone in our alumni group. So we have an alumni community where we send job links. Now, we don't promise anybody job. That's the caveat. We don't promise anybody job at Amdoranalytics. We don't give jobs outrightly. But we can assure you that if you stick to everything we teach, follow the prompts, do your assignments, do your tasks, do your projects, you will get a job sooner or later. In fact, let me shock you, 2 students just got a job this week, and they are courses classmates. Courses classmates just got jobs. One just got a job yesterday night with a US-based company, and she's in Nigeria, a fully remote job, sumptuous pay, like it's not hot akara kind of money, okay? Good money, right? And she's not the only one. We've had students in the past that have gotten jobs, gotten interview slots at big companies, and they're doing very well. They're thriving in their careers. So we don't promise jobs, but if you follow everything, in fact, I'm sure you listened when Kosi said even in his current job now he's applying the things that we've taught him and he's already seeing improvement. He's more competent, he's more efficient, right? So yes, if you follow everything, you will land the job sooner or later. As for the timeline, we cannot promise because everybody's journey is different, right? There are some people that have been in the tech ecosystem for a while, and then when they learn these courses, it's easier for them. They quick get a job faster. There are some that are, they're not used to the ecosystem, and then it takes a while. In fact, there are even some that are, because one of the people the persons that got a job this week, she's even new, like, to tech ecosystem. She doesn't have any prior experience, nothing at all. But yes, she landed a job, right? So everybody's journey is different. Some people take 2 months, some people take 2 weeks, some people take 3 months. It just depends. But one thing is for sure, if I'm not just because this is Amdoranalytics, right? I'll tell you for free. If I was not even part of Amdoranalytics, if I was just giving you an advice as a tech person, right? Because I've been in the tech space for a while, I will tell you for free, you will land the job. You will. But it might take time because your timeline is different. Sometimes it might take you 2 months, it might take you 3 months, it might take you 4 months. But if you are consistent, you will land the job. You will land the job. At first, it might look like, this one, that one, I'm not getting. But if you stay consistent and you keep at it, you keep learning, you keep building yourself, you keep putting yourself out there, you will land the tech job. Trust me, you will. This one is not even because I'm working with Amdor. I'm telling you the fact. You will get the job. So yeah. Which other question? Certification. Yes, we give certification to every student that enrolls for our courses and follows through. You must do your custom project too. Ask them, Kosi, I'm singing it in their ears every time. No project, no certificates. If you not do your own, we not give you certificate. So, you do your custom project, you do your assignments, you do the things that are necessary. Of course, you get a certification, but not just certification. You get recommendation letter from us. Maybe for those that need reference or stuff like that. Of course, you get it if you stick to all the necessary things you're meant to do. If you follow through, of course, you get all of that. So, sir, Mr. Paul, I don't know if I've answered your question, sir. I don't know. Did I answer your question, Mr. Paul? Okay. He said thanks for the info. Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
You're on mute, man. We cannot hear you.
I'm so sorry. Mr. Paul, my colleague is saying he wants to reach out to you on WhatsApp, but your number is not going through. Can you check the number so that we are sure? Mr. Paul, please, can you reply on the chat box so that we can reach out to you, with Okay, so his number is on the chat. Adetola, please, can you resend your number? Or let me do that from here. Okay, okay. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. So thank you very much, everyone. Once again, this is Amdoranalytics, your one-stop shop for anything tech training. We teach on-demand tech skills to people who are willing to learn, whether you're a newbie, a total newbie, you've never heard the word tech before, or you don't even know how to operate a mobile phone or a laptop. Don't worry, we got you. We will hold your hands and show you everything you need to know regarding the tech skill that you chose, right? And even if you're not a newbie, let's say you've been a professional for a while and you want to transition into tech, we will also, hold your hands and guide you through everything that you need to know. So if you're interested, there's an interest form on the chat box. Adetola has dropped it already. Please click on the link and fill the interest form, and we'll pick it up from there. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. This session is supposed to be 1 hour, but we spent almost 1 hour, 30 minutes. But yeah, it was worth it. I've learned a lot, and I'm sure we all have also learned one or two. So thank you, Madam Adiola. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Kosi. Thank you for giving us gems this evening. I don't need to eat again tonight. I'm already full with those gems you gave, Kosi. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Adiola.
You're welcome,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Yeah, so I don't know if Miss Chinyere has anything to say before we end the session finally. Yeah. All right. In the absence of any other thing, we'll be ending the session. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.